SHMACKEMAGOB, everybody. Here I am to do a Van Halen video. We just lost Eddie last week, and so I wanted to do a little thing about the discography. And as some of you may know, I'm just a fan of the David Lee Roth era. Not going to get into why I dislike Van Hagar. I already have videos up about that, but I'm just talking about my Van Halen, the Van Halen I love. Just going to talk into that. Before I get into that, I got this right here. It's the Zero demos. This is the Van Halen demos produced by Gene Simmons. And I remember some guy on Facebook wrote, if it weren't for Gene Simmons, there would be no Van Halen. You're wrong. That is a wrong statement. Look at that, green vinyl. And I'll tell you why that's a wrong statement. Yeah, Gene Simmons discovered them. Well, actually, technically, Paul Stanley. But we'll get into that later. Well, if Paul Stanley is telling the truth, because if you read his book, he talks about how really Paul Stanley discovered them. Gene got the credit for it. But people that say that Gene Simmons is responsible for them, no. Gene Simmons tried. And as, Gene Simmons did try to... do they have an amount of albums this was made? I know this was limited edition. Sounds really good too. It's really good stuff. But what Gene Simmons did was, you know, he got the demos and he tried to get Bill Aucoin. Text messages up the ass, man. He tried to get Gene Simmons to, he tried to get Bill Aucoin to sign them. Bill Aucoin rejected it, and in future Bill Aucoin interviews he did regret that. But what happened was Gene Simmons, said, hey, tore up the contract with them. He had a contract with them, said, best of luck. And it was Mo Austin and Ted Templeman that discovered Van Halen, I believe, I could be wrong, at the Starwood or some club. They saw them play, they signed them. Had nothing to do, they never heard the Gene Simmons demos, so they discovered them and did something with it where Gene Simmons tried. So now we got that, because I saw some guy online, right? If it wasn't for Gene Simmons, there would be no Van Halen. You're wrong. All right. If it wasn't for Mo Austin and Ted Templeman. All right. So I'm gonna put in order my favorite Van Halen albums, and they are in order. But not only that, I'm going to talk about my favorite track off each album, and some of it's going to be hard, and some of it was my favorite before. Now they're different. My favorite Van Halen album is the first one. Do I revisit it as much as the others? No. But it's still a game changer. First one I heard this before Van Halen 2 came out. I bought it before Van Halen 2 came out. Definitely a game changer. Amazing album. Not one bad track on it. Amazing. And man, this one contains my all-time favorite Van Halen song. So obviously my favorite song on this album is what ends the album, On Fire. And maybe the reason for that is because the greatest show I ever seen in my life was the Fair Warning tour. They opened with it. They opened with it on 1984 as well. But Fair Warning, that was... I can't explain it to you guys, but let me just try to... Maybe I can get through a little bit of what it was like to see that. Was, there was spotlights going around the audience, and you hear the guy go, will you welcome the mighty Van Halen? Then they go into On Fire, but the stage is completely black. And it's da na 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 na. Then when it goes into right when the band kicks in, after that, the whole stage lights up bright, and the first thing you see when the stage lights up bright is David Lee Roth about 20 feet in the air doing the split. That's the first thing you see. I remember the crowd just, and me, we all were like, whoa! And it was just like, you had to be there. And what I just said, it just still doesn't describe how amazing that was. Visually and musically, they were the greatest. And this is my favorite Van Halen album. My second favorite Van Halen album is Van Halen 2. It's in order. Just spoiler alert. It's in order, my favorite albums. This album is amazing. It's a little different than the first one. Starting with You're No Good, it's kind of like, yeah, it's a mellow tune, but still, what a great, great cover, man. Amazing cover. And I love it, and yeah, I didn't discuss all these songs, man. Running with the Devil's Epic, Jamie's Crying. This ain't in order, so I'm going to read it in out of order here. Jamie's Crying, probably my least favorite, and I love that song. On Fire, Running with the Devil, I'm the One. That guitar wizardry, jeez. Ain't Talking About Love, can't get more classic than that. And live with the hey, 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 dun, 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 dun. Man, everybody was so into it. Little Dreamer, people that say that David Lee Roth can't sing or never can sing, listen to Little Dreamer and then, you know, shut the fuck up. Feel Your Love Tonight, so fun. Getting Funny in the Back of My Car, beautiful. Atomic Punk, that sound, jeez, man. Probably my second favorite on the album. Eruption, game changer. First thing I ever heard from Van Halen was Eruption. And of course, Ice Cream Man, awesome song. And I could be wrong, but I believe on the first tour they played every song on that album except for Ice Cream Man. Then they started playing Ice Cream Man on the Van Halen II tour. But I'm sure, like headline gigs, they were playing Ice Cream Man. I'm just talking about when they were opening for Sabbath and Montrose and Journey and so on. But this one, man, you know, and Dance the Night Away, man, I never get sick of that. Such a great melodic pop rock classic. Somebody Get Me a Doctor, rips. Somebody Get Me a Shot, man. Bottoms Up, ultimate drinking tune. Out of Love Again, my favorite on the album. And my second favorite Van Halen song. I love Out of Love Again, that groove. And if you listen closely to Out of Love Again, Alex Van Halen is the star of that song. It's almost like a whole drum solo throughout the whole song. Amazing. Just an amazing track. My favorite, Light Up the Sky. Whoa. What they opened the tour with on Van Halen 2 and the last tour I saw, they opened with Light Up the Sky. Amazing song with a little tiny drum solo, and love Dave's voice, you know, and ooh, mama, see you fine light. It's an organic killer tune, killer voice. Not meant to be technically great, but it doesn't matter. It's full of attitude and organic. I mean, David Lee Roth back then, fuck yeah. Spanish Fly, the acoustic version of Eruption, DOA, they found a dirty face kid in a garbage can. Great stuff. Woman in Love, beautiful ballad. I saw them play that I saw Eddie open that song right in front of me, second row on Women and Children First Tour. And then ending it with Beautiful Girls. The ultimate kicking back in the beach song. Checking out the chicks in the bikinis. The ultimate summer album. My second favorite Van Halen album. Then next is Women and Children First. This is the first time I saw them live. Unbelievable. Unbelievable album. It's not in order, so I'm going to read it in the order here. We got Tora Tora, which is kind of Sabbathy. It opens side 2. Cradle Will Rock, ultimate. I mean, for a kid back then, have you seen Junior's Graves? Gun, 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 gun. I remember when they played that live, they had this big missile-shaped keyboard thing, and Michael Anthony played it during it. Great stuff. Romeo's Delight, fuck. That's what they, I think they opened the show with that song. I could be wrong, but I think they opened Women's Show First with Romeo's Delight. I could be wrong. Fools, dun, 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 dun. Great song, deep track, never played live. It was played in the early club days, though. In a Simple Rhyme, you know what? Take Your Whiskey Home has always been my favorite track off this album, but it has changed through the years. In a Simple Rhyme. And it was also played back in the club days. Love it. The beginning of that song made me cry, man. The day Eddie died, I heard the intro to that. I had to pull the car over and bawled out. It's so beautiful. And it's so beautiful, the little middle section, you know, she made the mountain sing. You know, the way Dave sings that. And one of the most amazing harmonies on any Van Halen song is found on In a Simple Rhyme. Loss of Control is what follows Tora Tora. Sporadic, Out of Control. They made a video for it. And you can see it on YouTube. Could This Be Magic? Really cool tune. You can hear like Rain, because it's done live acoustically. Dave on acoustic and Eddie. And you can hear Rain like if they had left the door open. It's just such a great vibe. And I always love that line, the full moon's out tonight, baby, let's begin. I've said that to some girls when the full moon was out, hanging out with a girl on the beach or outside. The full moon's out tonight. I love it. Love that song. Take Your Whiskey Home, as I said earlier, it used to be my favorite track on the album. Probably my second favorite now, but very close. And the last one written on here, not in order, I know, Everybody Wants Some. I said this before to my tribute to Eddie. Very simple guitar solo playing for the song. And the lyrics, man, everybody wants some. I want some too. I mean, come on. Everybody does want some. That song speaks to everybody. And the beginning, the jungle beat, and the weird guitar effects that Eddie's doing, and Dave doing the Tarzan. And unbelievable. Unbelievable album. My third favorite. Now, what most people would consider their favorite Van Halen album, I don't blame you, it's perfect. It's another great one. It's the most pissed off guitar-oriented Van Halen album, Fair Warning. Amazing album. I remember the day of purchase. I went the day this came out to buy it, and I couldn't find it. And I went up to the guy in the cashier. Hey, where's the new Van Halen? Oh, it's right over there. And I'm like, I can't find it. So he kind of got pissed off, walked around the counter. Here it is. And I looked at it. I was like, what the hell is this? Did not expect it. Went home, put it on, and this will sound shocking. The first time I heard it, I didn't like it. When it was done, I was like, man, the only song I like on here is Hear About It Later. Now, there's not a bad song on here. I was dumb. But, you know, I gave it more of a chances. By the time this tour came here, I already loved this album. But on first listen, I didn't get it. I'll admit it. And again, the songs are not in order, so I'm going to read them as they are here. Mean Street, what a great opening. Well, something I forgot to mention was the last track on here, In a Simple Rhyme. You know how it ends and it goes into dun 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 dun. That's a little piece they called Growth. And that was supposed to start Fair Warning. They were supposed to do like a full version of that song on Fair Warning, and it was scrapped. But that was the intention when they recorded on Women's Room first. But they did Mean Street, again, Eddie reinventing shit, the opening of that, and the groove on it, stinky and awesome. And Dave, forget it, just amazing. So This Is Love. Probably the most uplifting tune on here. You know, that's one more classic Van Halen II party type song. Beautiful. Push Comes to Shove. Mellow, almost reggae-ish in parts, and probably smoking guitar solo on this album from Edward Van Halen. And I just love the vibe of it. And, you know, pass me another cigarette. Is there anything left in that bottle? It's just such a great vibe. Never played live. Great tune. Sinner Swing. Damn. Smoking. She looked so fucking good. I remember when he did that live. She looked so fucking good. I couldn't hear what it said after that live because the whole place erupted. Because back then, just to say fucking on stage was special. It was, you can't get away with that today. Somebody can go up on stage and say fuck, 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 fuckity fuck, and it won't get the same reaction it did back in the 80s. Great song. Another killer solo where Eddie starts, where it sounds like a horse. Awesome shit. Unchained, probably the most popular track on this album. Ripping. For the longest time, I finally got, like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago, after living with this for, shit, next year is going to be 40 years. But like 10 years ago, I'm listening to that song when the guy goes, I think it's Ted Templeman, he goes, come on, Dave, give me a break. And Dave goes, hey, 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 one break coming up. If you listen, the band goes, da-da-da-da. Chain, there's a little break. I didn't get that till 30 years later. Awesome song. Amazing song. It became a staple on Van Halen shows after that with Dave. Always played. Probably the only song that survived the set list on this album through every tour. Dirty Movies. Hey, you remember when that girl was prom queen? It wasn't played back then, but they did play it on that last tour. The last tour played In a Simple Rhyme for the first time, and Drop Dead Legs, and Dirty Movies for the first time. Love it. You know, it's kind of weird how it starts where Eddie's doing the kind of tapping, but it sounds like he's fucking up and he leaves it in there. Pretty wild stuff. That's probably why the first time I heard the album, I was like, what the hell, man? Why is that? He's making mistakes. Why did they leave that in there? But now it kind of like, I don't know. I love the mistakes. I'm glad they're there. And it was purpose, you know. They ain't going to leave mistakes in there. They figure, let's just make it sloppy and crazy. Like the song itself. Then the next track, my favorite track off the album, Hear About It Later. And, you know, the first time I heard this album, Hear About It Later was the only one that stuck to me. To this day, I still think it's the best song on this album. Just love that little mellow beginning, and the band kicks in with Dave with the yelling. Amazing track. Then the last two tracks on here are in order. Go figure. Sunday Afternoon in the Park and One Foot Out the Door. Sunday Afternoon in the Park, I remember hearing an interview with David Lee Roth on the radio during this time when he was talking about this album. And he said, Sunday Afternoon in the Park is the soundtrack of a huge crab underwater. Makes sense, right? Then it goes into this very short song called One Foot Out the Door that rips. I mean, it's very short, and it ends with just Eddie going apeshit on the way out. Great stuff. And they made a video for One Foot Out the Door and Sunday Afternoon in the Park that never was released. And here, I hope I remember to add this, are pictures of the video shoot. I wish one day, I hope one day they release that. But fair warning, awesome album. All right, next, yes, I like it more than 1984. Diver Down. This album is amazing. People complain, oh, too many cover songs. What are you talking about, cover songs? These are Van Halen songs. They don't sound like the originals. Especially like Dancing in the Street. Dancing in the Street was a song that Eddie came up with before he even considered it being a cover song. Then they added, you know, the cover stuff on it. And I love this album. This album is tied with Van Halen II as far as the Beach album. This album and Van Halen II, amazing. I know a lot of people slam this album. Too many covers. Ah, man, musically this is awesome. I put it above 84. This ain't in order, but I'm going to read it as it back here. Where Have All the Good Times Gone? Love the Kinks. Have you heard their version? Sounds nothing like this version. And also, it's a timely subject. Where have all the good times gone? Where is music like this? Good, happy, you know, fun party music. I know I'm sweating like a pig here. Little Guitars. Kind of a little Latin thing going on there, and that little ding, ding, ding. You know, when I saw Van Halen play that song live, Eddie had a little tiny Les Paul, well, looking Les Paul guitar that he played this song on. Beautiful song, amazing song. Love it. Hang 'em High. That's the second track on here. Used to be a song from the early days. Was recorded as a demo, but it was called something else. Can't remember offhand what the name of it, but I'm sure somebody will leave a comment below. But I already know, I can't remember it. Smoking Track. Just Eddie ripping, fast, furious, kick-ass. Then after that, Secrets, which is also in order as the album. Secrets, gorgeous. What Eddie does on guitar, people say Eddie's just flash. Listen to Secrets and then shut the fuck up. Beautiful. And I love the lyrics. David Lee Roth had great lyrics, such a great wordsmith. And I love his voice on it. It's just a great little mellow tune, you know, but happy, perfect. Then Intruder. Intruder was a song that was kind of like written at the spur of the moment because they made a video for Oh Pretty Woman, but the video was too long, so they had to come up with an intro for it, so they just did that for the video. And then they said, fuck it, let's stick it on the album. But it wasn't really intended to be a song. They were just kind of like, well, we need to fill up the video with some music. And it's kind of like Sunday Afternoon in the Park, kind of weird, strange, but awesome. Then it goes into Oh Pretty Woman. I love it. I love their version. A little snotty. I'm a big fan of Roy Orbison. I love the man's voice. And I love what they did with his songs, you know. Make it more, you know, dun, 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 just heavier. The biggest hit on here, you know. Big Bad Bill is Sweet William Now, featuring Eddie's dad on clarinet. And it's so awesome. And I absolutely love that song. I remember as a kid, I was like, because I was stupid. But I think that that song is amazing. It's just a cool little ragtime type song. And you can tell totally David Lee Roth was the one pushing for that one. And it was great to have Eddie's dad, you know, in there. I'm sure Eddie was proud. You know, in an interview with Eddie Van Halen, they said to him, if you can bring any musician back from the dead, you know, to jam with, who would it be? He said, my dad. And hopefully now, they're jamming. Dancing in the Street. I know a lot of people don't like that one. I love it. I love Dance in the Street. I love all that weird effects going on, you know, with Eddie, all that shit he's doing, and Dave sounds awesome on it. Great, great song. Cathedral. I remember seeing Eddie do Cathedral on the Fair Warning tour. I was in the nosebleeds, but from afar I see these spotlights on him and he's doing Cathedral, and I'm like, what the fuck? How is he doing that noise with his guitar? I wasn't close enough to see it was the volume out, but still, it sounds like an organ or something. Innovator. Alright, then Happy Trails is not the last track. It's the last track, but not the last track written here. Awesome. I've heard them do it many times before on radio station interviews. They would end it with that. And also they demoed it back in the day. I have a demo of them doing it. Yeah, it's like, what was it? Roy Rogers and Dale Evans would do that. Listen to their version, listen to that version. Totally different. And then the last track on here is my favorite, The Full Bug. Starts with that acoustic-y, gon' bite your ass. Ripping tune. Best part of a man. Favorite track off there. And of course the next one, 1984. Love this album. This is, you know, six-pack, like I said, in order. I do love it, even if I put Diver Down, which a lot of you think suck, over it. You must think I hate it, but you know, you are wrong. I will say one thing I don't like about this album is the song 1984. The opening is like, eh. Jump, Burnt Out, not one of my favorite Van Halen songs, but I think David Lee Roth saved the song. The way he sings that song, and Can't You See Me? I just love his delivery on the song. I think he's the star of the song. Jump. What's the next track on here? Now I got Panama. Oh man, I know a lot of people ain't gonna agree with me on this one. And I love Panama, don't get me wrong, but that's one of the Van Halen songs that I'd be happy never to hear again. I'm just so... that song for me suffers more burnout factor than a lot of the songs on the first Van Halen album. It's a great song, but I've heard it too many times, and it's not one of those songs for me that I can hear a quadrillion times and still sticks with me. So, you know, Top Jimmy's awesome. Cool little, you know, and it's about a guy, it's really about a real dude that David Lee Roth would join on stage. You know, a guy that played clubs and stuff. It was a song about him. Drop Dead Legs, a song not played back then, but played on the last tour. Ripping song. A lot of people's favorite on this album. It's not my favorite, but I love it. My favorite on this album is the next one, which is a popular one, Hot for Teacher. To me, that's the most classic ripping Van Halen tune. Love that crazy drums. Like, fuck, man, how does Alex do that? And it's just ripping. And it is, in my opinion, the greatest music video ever made. Hot for Teacher, my favorite track off the album. I'll Wait, love it. That's when, you know, the keyboards came in, but it's got a cool vibe. And who was it? Michael McDonald from Doobie Brothers helped write it. Great, great song. They should have made a video for it. It would have been a humongous hit, even though it is played on the radio still, but it's great. Girl Gone Bad, awesome guitar, riffage album, song. And if you watch the US Festival, they tease a little bit when they're doing an instrumental, him and Eddie. And I will say this about the US Festival. David Lee Roth was fucking fucked up off his ass, polluted, and you can see the whole show, and he sounds like shit on that show. A lot of people look at the US Festival and think David Lee Roth was that way in the 80s. No. That show, he was polluted. Look at the Largo show. That's professionally shot. And then the last track, House of Pain. Love it. The only complaint about House of Pain is David Lee Roth's voice is too low in the mix. I don't know why that was. But and another weird thing, because this is the end of the original Van Halen. In the demo, they demoed House of Pain that bleeds into Running with the Devil. So isn't that kind of eerie how the first track on the first album and the last track on the last album bleed into each other on the demo versions. But that's it as far as classic Van Halen. But there is one more Van Halen album to talk about. Not going to get into why I don't like the Sammy Hagar era. I'm not going to get into why I don't like Van Halen 3. To me, they're just not Van Halen albums for me. Sorry, that's just how I feel. It's my personal opinion. If you disagree, I don't care. This is the last Van Halen album. It's the first Van Halen album since 1984. Now, last week, I did an episode on this that I aired, you know, before I was supposed to because of Eddie's death. So I'm not going to go into this whole album. Watch last week's episode. But, you know, picking my favorite, I did say last week, on that last week episode, that this is the most difficult album to pick a favorite. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick a favorite for now, but it could change tomorrow. My favorite on here, I would say, is Honey Baby Sweetie Doll Today. But there's so many great songs, because I would put Bullethead as my favorite, or As Is, Out of Space, Chinatown, You and Your Blues, She's a Woman, Blood and Fire, The Trouble with Never. That's it. I'm done. God bless Eddie Van Halen, man. Greatest guitar player in the world. Greatest live band I ever saw in the 80s or beyond. Never seen a band better than Van Halen live ever in the I don't know. I think I'm going on 354 kajillion concerts I've been to, and none of them have matched the greatness of Van Halen. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you like what you see, you know, please subscribe to my channel and click that little notification bell. And if you'd like to donate, I got a PayPal below. All hail the mighty Van Halen. Thanks for watching. SHMACKEMAGOB. For those that use social media, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. And you can join the Almost Human 56 Facebook page. All links are in the description below. A lot of you been asking for it. SHMACKEMAGOB merch. Yes, many types of shirts, long sleeves, short sleeves, hoodies, you name it. Plus other stuff like shower curtains and bedspreads and mugs and socks and clocks and oh, I can go on. But why should I? The link is below. Just click the link below in the description for all the SHMACKEMAGOB merch. Order yours now. SHMACKEMAGOB! Hey, check out my podcast, The VIERA Vault, on Spreaker, YouTube, and iTunes. Subscribe. The links are below.
Looking for some new podcasts to listen to? Well, Rat Salad Review Network has plenty of shows to choose from. Like Rat Salad Review, where they discuss the latest rock and metal news, as well as interviews and albums. Album vs. Album, the King Diamond Podcast, with Wayne Noon, Greg Noggle, and sometimes this guy.
SHMACKEMAGOB!
Ralph Vieira is also on our network with the VIERA Vault. There's also Old Man Metal's Musings, where he discusses heavy metal and beer. Music is Life with Lou Mavs. The Right Opinion for those who love politics. A South Park podcast called Suck My Balls. The Infinite Fringe, a watch-along wrestling show called Beyond Bushido. Ex-Stradivarius guitarist, the Timo Tolkki podcast. And the Great Harry Barnett with I Don't Even Like Podcasts. So check out ratsaladreview.com or search Rat Salad Review on YouTube, Podbean, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and more.